Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. I'm sorry I'm late on this July 3rd, a holiday, but we've been having technical difficulties. We weren't able to log in, but that does not matter. I'm welcoming you here, and thank you so much for joining us this evening, even though I am late. And stock record highs yesterday. That's right, again. It's the 250th United States anniversary. But who's the anniversary for? I question that. And assets, ladies and gentlemen, you better get them because it won't matter about the 250th anniversary because it's now 2026, July 3rd, 2026, and tomorrow's July 4th. And once again, holidays are here, but you better be planning for your future starting in the next few minutes. So thank you so much once again for being here and welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. Okay. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you so much for being here. We're having a little difficulties with the streaming, but it happens. So let's get into it, shall we? Because again, make sure you share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information, who needs to know about there is help here. You go to findhelp.org. That's a very simple. Findhelp.org. There's nonprofit organizations that can help you out. You, your loved ones, your family. You may need some of the help. Put in your zip code in the United States. Put the zip code in. It's free of charge and make the phone calls. Some places are entirely free. Others charge a little fee. But if you need help, it's there, American citizens. It's here. So keep that in your mind over this holiday weekend as you're visiting family and friends, celebrating 250th anniversary. And I don't know who's supposed to celebrate because I won't get into this today because I start going off when I think about the injustices that's been done to indigenous and other people based on they were not free 250 years ago. They were not free 200 years ago. They weren't free 100 years ago. And they damn sure still are not free right now. So therefore, your definition of freedom is different than mine. But I just want to let you know, be safe out here because a lot of people are out here acting crazy already this weekend. It started last night. So what can I tell you? Yeards, glad to see you in the house once again. And this holiday weekend, tonight fireworks, tomorrow fireworks. It's hot all along the eastern seaboard and throughout America. Those people who still don't believe in climate change, good luck. You better start making plans as well. And you might want to find out who owns the water aquifers. That's right. Your water may not be easily or readily and perfectly priced for you to obtain, and you're going to need water and food to survive. So just be very careful when you're in a capitalist system and people can own life-saving water. Just saying. All right. I wonder who's going to be free to be omitted from getting water. But once again, this isn't about that. This is about the stock record highs this past week, even though the inflation is high, even though tariffs are still in effect, even though hardly any jobs are being produced that are livable wage jobs, even though all of that's happening, we owe $1 trillion in deficit a year. Even though the GDP is under 2, it's almost 1.2 to 1.3%. All metrics say things are bad. But that just means, ladies and gentlemen, you still have more time to get assets that are going to matter later. Stocks, yes. If you're going to do real estate, yes. If you're going to use it as a commercial situation where you're making money from your real estate, then yes. Dividend funds from stocks, yes. Anything that can generate income while you're sleeping or while you don't have to physically work for it, because a lot of people are doing 2.5 jobs, just so you guys understand where we're going with this. There's not enough livable wage jobs around anymore. Nobody's going to be working probably 20 years hardly. So you are going to find yourself in a whole different world when everything shakes out, because it'll be year and a half next year. After all the mayhem in 2025, it takes about a year and a half to 2 years for it to shake. So good luck, Americans. We start with Johan Confidante, who was on last night. If you missed that video, shame on you. If you haven't seen it, just check the replay after this live stream. I won't be on too long tonight because I've been working on something that is astronomical. I've been talking about it over the last week or two, but I can't do anything. We're locked out right now until something has to give. Something has to be done. I won't get into too much of it, but the bottom line is we need protection. That's what you need, ladies and gentlemen, for your business, for you, yourself, your family, your loved ones. You don't want anybody being able to destroy whatever hard work that you do. That is the key right there. So you're already going to have a hard time just living your best life, but there's always somebody trying to take it away from you, snatch it away from you, steal it away from you, and therefore you have to protect yourself. Just remember that also, because asset protection is protection, ladies and gentlemen. Irrevocable trust is protection. Insurance, beneficiaries on paperwork is protection. Things that go automatically with or without you in a certain direction, that is also protection. So keep in mind, health is wealth, as a lot of people are getting sick this weekend. And by the way, make sure you stay safe over this holiday weekend. I'm going to keep saying it 3 times. A lot of people are going cuckoo out here. All right. Now, let's get into the stock market records even more. You had a runway 2 years, 7 months. We're down now to 2 years, 5 months. You started this runway 3 years ago. It ends December 31st, 2026, where you needed to have a 775 credit score, a bank account outside the United States, real estate, or business outside the United States, so you could possibly protect yourself, and you have an overseas structure. Meaning if something happens in one country, you possibly are going to be okay in another. That's what you want to do. You want to keep options to yourself, because once again, that's asset protection. And also, it's more than asset protection. It's called freedom as well. So, what are we going to do this evening, ladies and gentlemen? You're going to get your fireworks together, getting ready for the cookout tomorrow. Let me know. I want to hear from you guys after this replay plays, and everybody on the iHeart, iTunes, podcast networks. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure you hit the star, the like, the heart buttons, whatever it is. But once again, make sure you show your support one way or another. Down below in the description box, we always have something for you. So you know what that means. Get your free stocks from Robinhood, Webull, Moo. That shouldn't be a problem for you. Make sure you understand what you're doing when it comes to Bankus. Bankus is outside the United States. If you are dabbling in cryptocurrency and you need to have a crypto Visa debit card, I highly suggest you get a Bankus card. I don't have mine with me right now, but they have new Bankus cards out. They even have metal cards. But the bottom line is the plastic tap card is $50 shipped to you. And that takes about 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, I should say. And then if you want the metal card, it takes the same amount of time, but the metal card is $100. So all you have to do down below in the description box. Check that out. I'm also going to put in on the platform, we'll give you the Find Help as well. Findhelp.org is always a good thing to keep and let people know over this holiday weekend. A lot of people, like I said, are probably going to have a little bit of difficulty. Yeah, we're having difficulties here. Things don't want to work out, it looks like, but hey, it'll happen sooner or later. Be persistent is the only thing we can do. All right. What the? This is strange. I have some things going on which I haven't seen in a while. It's kind of bugs you a little. All right. Yeah, that's crazy. Why is that happening? Okay. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I got to do something real quick. Oh, here it is. All right, here we go. Let's go this route. Let's see if this works any better. All right. My mouse is acting up. It's moving. That's strange. Oh well. What can we do? Now, back to those free stocks from Robinhood, Webull, Moo. A lot of people have heard all these guys for the last 5 years, 6 years. So I don't blame you if it falls on deaf ears. But it's all right. Some people still have not invested in the stock market, still have not heard of Robinhood, Webull, Moo, and still haven't received their free shares of stock, even though they may be worth $10, $2, $3, or $100. You might as well get your free shares of stock. So also those links are down below in the description box, and I also put those links in the chat room so everybody can always. Ooh, is that that looked messy? Let me see. That was way. No, was that too much? It might have been. Okay, well, let's go look. I can't tell. But either way, let me know. And yeah, this isn't working too good. My mouse is going. I dropped it. And so not only did I drop it, I can't find the. Oh, this is not good. Okay. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Today is an interesting day. We have to do everything the old-fashioned way. When things break down, they break down. All right, let's see here. Well, that's not too bad. That's there. Okay. Now, why is this still doing this? This is, it is what it is. All right. I'm not going to be on too long tonight. My mind has been, quite frankly, a little bothered, worried about family members, worried about a few things. So, trying to stay a little more positive, but I must admit, I almost broke. No, I did break down in tears again today because this project that I'm kind of on vacation from, I realized there's some other things that have not been unlocked if we're able to do it. And I was sitting there like, are you kidding me right now? This is what happens when you're on vacation and you're relaxing. All of a sudden, your mind starts thinking of different things, different possibilities. And then you check online and it's like, wait a minute, this is a pretty interesting scenario. And yes, you can do it. No permission needed. So therefore, that makes it very, very exciting. So I had tears in my eyes again today. This has happened twice in the last month. That means it's scary, just so everybody understands. So once again, make sure you smash that like button so the YouTube guys know that you're in the house, and share the videos so other people know what's going on. I mentioned Bankus. So we're going to have to get the Bankus because a lot of people are signing up, and they're signing up other people because referral money is in play here. And over the weekend, I don't know if they're going to have any Bankus events. They like to have things on Sunday. So I don't know if they're going to have any live streams on Sunday. But nonetheless, I'm about to give you the one on Tuesdays and Thursdays, whenever the computer's going to act appropriate. And you refer people, you can make money, which is interesting. When a person uploads their crypto, you get a little piece of that. So therefore, if you refer people and those people upload crypto and buy the card, you make a little profit. Then you can use your crypto Visa debit card. Works worldwide. And again, plastic or metal. I have the link down below in the description box, in the chat rooms of all platforms who can hear my voice. So you guys do not delay. At least download the app. That would be awfully nice of you. That shows a little support in itself. That doesn't mean you pay anything or do anything. But hey, if you ever think of doing crypto and you need to download the crypto, it's outside the United States, which meets my criteria. I don't know about yours. And therefore, if anything ever happens in the US, you don't have to worry about it. It's only an endpoint. It's not a crypto exchange. So basically, it's just like a prepaid debit card, except it has the Visa logo. So take advantage while you can. And you can send people through Bankus at zero fee, Bankus to Bankus members. So therefore, you can have family, friends, and loved ones in different countries. And all they have to do is download the app on their cell phone, on their even tablet or laptop. Using the link down below, send it to them if you don't want to use it. And this way, if they signed up and you need to send them money, all you have to do is sign up, and then you have to load up money, and then person to person via email that they signed up with, the money's there within generally a minute at no fee. It's no cost, no fee. So it's real good if you have to send money outside the US. There is one thing I have to tell you guys the truth of the matter. They do charge you 4% though. See, because of that 1% that they give away in commissions, I guess, then they got to make a few to keep the company rolling. But you're paying 4%, which is kind of a hefty fee in my opinion, but it's worth the freedom potentially as well. So it all goes by what you feel is good for you and your family. But the freedom of being able to send it to other people outside the country almost instantaneously is very, very awesome. And you do have a digital form of your card, which I love, that you can block it or open it. So therefore, you can block it. So when there's not going to be any online identity theft, fraud, or anything like this, since you have it locked. And then if you ever want to use it, because it's only for online, digital card, then you unlock it and then use it. And then the CVV, the code, is only for a few minutes, and then it changes. So therefore, that helps stop fraud. I wish all credit cards were like this. That would be sweet, right? Would have a lot less fraud. Oh, that was a lot. Okay. We got the Bankus down. We have that down. Let me know if there's anybody in the house tonight. Make sure you smash the like buttons no matter where you're listening or watching from. And make sure you spend this weekend safely. Again, I've only been on for 19 minutes. I was late because I've had computer difficulties at this location. And then I dropped my mouse and all hell broke loose after that. Because I can't find the parts to it, which is kind of funny. All right. Now, let's get back into the flow, shall we? Let's go. We have in here tonight, assets, get them. What other type of assets are there? Your business could be an asset, because remember, you can borrow against assets. There's some of you right now that has equipment sitting around in a warehouse. You know you can borrow against that if you talk to the right accountants, talk to the right people, that you can borrow and monetize that inventory that's sitting there. You can borrow against your inventory. Again, all these things are what the high-end guys use. That's why they rarely run out of money, because once you have assets, you can generally borrow against them. You have a land, lots, homes, commercial, a lot of things you can borrow against. So that's what you want to have, are assets. EV Place, another investor's in the house, another person that's doing everything right. The assets, the investments, everything is happening. And welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings his tagline along with that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate, ladies and gentlemen. That means he's a member of the channel, and you know we love that support. And he brings the tagline of the day. Good evening, SSN Nation. I hope you are all doing well. That's all we can hope for out here. Everybody's going to do well moving forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Bring on that love and general overall good feelings. Free yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Love thy neighbor and all that good stuff. All right. EV Plays, very nice to see you once again. Thank you so much for being in the house and for the support. I know you could be anywhere else because the holiday has started now. Banks were closed. Stock market was closed. But that did not stop the Dow from going up 600 points yesterday. Just saying. Again, you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, and when to buy, ladies and gentlemen. Stock market is always going to be in play because you know the top 10% of the wealthiest own 93% of the stock market. So you should be hanging with the wealthy guys. I don't know how much I have to tell you about this, but this is the policy that you should be thinking about. You should be thinking, what are the rich guys, the wealthy guys doing? Whatever they're doing, you probably need to be in that business or in that field because that runway is a lot longer than a runway that you might think you have. Because whatever they're doing, if they say we're doing AI, you might want to be in AI. Just saying. If they say that they're going to be studying and they sell information, then maybe you might want to start a company that you can get information. Just saying. It's a little harder if you're going to try and start your assets under management business because that means you're going to have to be licensed and regulated by the SEC and a few other lawful jurisdictions. That makes it a little bit more difficult. But once again, it's not impossible because as you know, derivatives is paper, which is stocks. They're thin air and you can borrow against them and they have a value. Just remember, you bought stocks. What did you buy? You paid a company. You got nothing but saying you own some shares in return. How much did that paper cost the company? Nothing. Well, server time or something probably, but nothing. So it's money out of thin air. And then if they had their shares are like Berkshire Hathaway in the thousands, then that means you have 3,000, 30,000. I don't even know what Berkshire Hathaway stocks are selling for. 3 shares could be $10,000, $15,000, right? And you can borrow against it. Thin air, derivatives. See, you need derivatives, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of the things that help you build wealth. But can you sell stocks? Yes. But you're going to have to be in certain jurisdictions that's beneficial to sell stocks. Your LLC, the odds of you selling stocks from there, well, it depends what jurisdiction you're in. Most jurisdictions, LLCs may not qualify. But nonetheless, if you can sell stocks, you can make an IPO, you could be a very wealthy person. But that's just another derivative. So just think about this, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to do something to change the program. The cost of living is going to continue to rise. There's no freedom. Inflation, which is cost of living, both are going to rise. There's no freedom. Livable wage jobs are going to still continue to reduce. Job market is going to reduce. That's not freedom. You're about to get caught in a bad situation if you don't take this very seriously over the next 12 months. We gave you a runway for 3 years, starting 2 years and 7 months ago. Now, all I can tell you is good luck in about another 12 months because I don't know what the stock market's going to do 12 months from now, but I do know what it's going to do over the next 6 months. Just saying, you might want to be in and pay attention. And if you still don't know how to do stock market trading, shame on you. You've had all this time. I started talking about it almost 10 months ago, handing out the Candlestick Trading Bible. So therefore, you can actually learn, and I'll give you. I gave you the CoinX, so you can get a demo account, and you can study and read this and take your time. It's 160 pages, which is, most people won't read 160 pages. So therefore, get your free PDF. You just use the link, and then it doesn't make sense to just read when you need to do some actual work as well. So you just download the demo account. And so what do? You say CoinX, right? Yep. So I'm going to give you the link for CoinX, which is, once again, outside the United States. Just saying. This is interesting. It's outside the United States, not regulated by the United States. So that's a good thing in my book. So once again, your accounts can't be, well, I shouldn't say they can't be frozen, but the odds of it being frozen is pretty interesting. But again, you can refer people to the CoinX platform or any platform. Again, you can use TradingView. I like TradingView, but they use all United States regulated brokers. I don't want a broke country having any knowledge of where I have money. It's that simple, especially with the history of America. So, gives you options, some freedom, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, since you can use crypto, and if you're a successful trader, you can download crypto. And then if you just so happen to have an account outside the United States jurisdiction and it's not trackable, isn't that a very good choice to have? Just saying. Hopefully you read through the tea leaves. And by the way, how can I forget? We have other platforms, we have other people, so I got to make sure you guys are getting some love. Got the Candlestick Trading Bible all over. And I want to thank everybody for watching on all the different platforms on this day, because you could be out having fun instead of sitting here watching this live stream. Sitting here smashing the like button. That'd be greatly appreciated too. Let the YouTube gods and the Facebook gods and the Twitch gods and the podcast gods know that you're in the house. That would be helpful. By the way, I will just say, I went in my back office and all of a sudden, it's weird. They just removed like 30, 40, 50 people. I don't know why. But maybe somebody didn't like what I was talking about last week. That could be a thing. So we're back under 15,700. We're in the 15,600s again. So just letting you know, first it was Facebook blocking me. Then it was Instagram. Then it was, see, this is why, ladies and gentlemen, you might have to think about your freedom. That's all I can tell you. Let's go. Candlestick Trading Bible, CoinX. We got you all. Whoa. Did I get CoinX? What happened? That's interesting. Don't have it. Or did I put it in first? Yeah, okay. We put it in first. So Candlestick Trading Bible was second on some platforms. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I don't have too much to say on this 250th thing. All right. I'm a black person, minority in America. Until 1865, which it seems like that's 130 years ago. Or is that 140 years ago? Whatever. Does not matter. Being that you're a minority in America during that time, a black person or Indian person, you weren't free either then. Temporarily, until 10 years later, when the minorities were able to get into Congress by their voting, they said, we're going to stop all this. So we'll go to Jim Crow. So they can't vote, can't read, can't write. Make it illegal. Anything interracial, we make illegal. Even though you have a constitution, even though you wrote up a constitution, they don't abide by it. So therefore, you weren't really free. You had bombings, you had lynchings, you had Jim Crow era until the late, well, even to this day, but in all, by law, until the 60s. Voting, couldn't even vote until the 60s again, the Voting Rights Act, which they just took away. Freedom for who? I don't know. But oppression for many is not the way to win, ladies and gentlemen. That's very bad. So we have something coming. That's all I'm going to say. We have something coming. And I was crying for the second time in 2 months today, because it's in our power to do some changes to help the OCs. And by helping the OCs, we kick their asses, not the OCs, the powers that be, and we can redistribute some help to the masses. And maybe infiltrate the bad stuff that's happening here in America by actually using our money to make things right. So all I can say is, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sign off now, because whenever I get around July 4th weekend, I kind of am like, I don't know about you, but you know, when you're reading the Pledge of Allegiance, you might want to read a little bit further. When you're singing the Star Spangled Banner, you might want to start reading down a little bit further. When you're reading the Constitution, you might want to read down a little bit further. Because the liberty, justice for all is not a thing. They're pardoning a guy that scammed people out of $100 million. The DOJ. This regime is getting ready to pardon a guy $100 million, and they can't even tell the court why. But we know why. Doesn't look like me, I'm sure. Just saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a nice weekend. I'll see you on Monday, where I'm about to raise some havoc, because once again, we're coming back to do the damage that was rightfully supposed to happen. And I have help here in the SSN Nation. And once again, greatness awaits. And it's going to be one hell of a ride. So make sure you guys pay attention, because it's going to be awesome. And with all that said, I love you guys very much. Just make sure you guys stay safe. Stay out of harm's way this weekend and beyond. And I love you. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And one other thing, and the reason why I'm a little subdued, is because the reason I'm crying is because I stayed up all night long. So I'm exhausted. I have not gone back to sleep or anything. So I have a very, very long day. But I've been working on some things, like I said, that I've been writing down, studying, keeping in my head. I can't write down everything I want to and keep it in a platforms, but I'm doing the best I can. But all I can tell you is, this is no ordinary situation. It's now been unlocked to be something greater than the Magnificent Seven will ever be. I'm just saying, we coming. All right, enough talk. I'll see you guys on Monday, hopefully at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That would be awfully nice. And make sure you share these videos, because there's a lot of people that doesn't understand the significance of what's going down. Lots of things are happening, but people can't pay attention when they're under duress, because it's bad out here. All right. When it's hard to make money, when you got to work 2 jobs and a half, have 3 people in the household working just to make ends meet, not actually have monies left over, but you're still worrying about eating groceries and getting food and putting gas in your car. That is not a good sign to hear that the stock market is doing all-time record highs. It's not good to hear that you have 57,000 jobs, I believe it was, this past week. But yet, the stock market rises. A new record. It's almost like if these companies don't hire people or don't have employees, it seems like the stock market keeps going up. Have you guys been paying attention to that? That's not a good sign, because it looks like you're getting rewarded for not having workers. That's very bad. That is very bad. It's almost like you put bad stuff in food, and then you have countries that come over here for the soccer, and then they import their own food because they don't trust the American food, but the American people are eating the American food. Yeah, that kind of thing. That should bother you. It's always bothered me, but like I said, I don't take any medications. I don't have any problems right now. So hopefully, I won't have any problems in the near future or for a long time. Another lifetime is now. So, another lifetime. Hopefully, we all get there. Make sure health is your wealth. Make sure this weekend, I know a lot of people eat all this nice porks and beefs and things of this nature, but just remember the food is tainted. That's all I'm going to say. And with all that said, make sure no matter what you do out here, be safe and keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.